Start recording now, and this is our tax talk with Tonya Yudizky. Did I say that right? Good.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And you just go, and I'm going to mute this, and I'm going to go outside and listen to you on my phone.
Okay. Well, first things first, just so that you guys have a little bit of background on me. I am a third-year accounting student working on my CPA. I've done taxes for 12 years now. That's what I want to do for my big grown-up job in the real world. So feel free to, when I get my CPA, everybody hire me, and we'll be okay. All right. So let me give you a couple of pointers. First off, the first thing we want to do is get our Social Security number tucked away in our own little private closets. So in order to do that, you need to get an EIN number. And what an EIN number is a business Social Security number. So you can do that by just going to the IRS website. It's free. It takes about 15 minutes. And then Plexus has a nice form that you can fill out to replace your Social Security number with your business EIN number. Now what that does is it makes sure that nobody has your Social Security number anymore, which is good because, you know, every time that we give out our Social Security number, that's one more person, or one more entity that can possibly lose it, get stolen from, get hacked, you know, the 100 of things that always happen, and nobody wants their ID stolen. It's not pretty, is it, Sabrina?
No.
So that's the first thing everyone needs to do is get a business EIN number. The second thing we need to do is we need to start separating our business funds from our personal funds, okay? So what I mean by this is that this goes down even to your purchases. Your purchases should be 2 separate purchases a month. You should have your business purchases and your personal purchases. Yes, everybody's heard you can write off your personal purchases. No, you can't. You cannot write off your personal purchases. Those are for personal use, okay? Yes, we are a product of the product, but that does not give us the right to write off our personal use products. We can only write off those products that we use for marketing, for samples, to give out, those kinds of things, okay? So you want to make sure that your purchases are done in 2 separate increments, just so that it makes record keeping easier, because you can go, this is my personal purchase, these are all my random samples, my bag of Slim that I break into samples to give out, all of that. So we want to separate our business funds as well. So everything we get paid from Plexus, we want to make sure it goes into a separate account. And it can be a personal account. It just needs to have nothing but your business information in it. So your business purchases need to go out of it, for your postage, for any of your business products for Plexus. All of that needs to come out of that business account. And don't worry if you haven't done it up until this point. Save your receipts. Receipts are very, very good. They're easier for record keeping when you go to do your taxes at the end of the year. Let's see. I'm not sure everybody knows, but since we are now a sole proprietorship, that is, unless you've gone in and actually filed for as corporation or some of the other LLCs, those kinds of things, we file a Schedule C. And I'm going to hold this up just so you guys can see it, but I have a copy of 2014's here. Yay. Okay. Yeah. So it's probably not a very good copy. But just so that you guys know, it's just kind of asking you what your name of your business is. You attach this to your 1040. And hi, Kristen. So you attach this to your 1040 and you fill this out every year. It goes with your taxes. We're talking about a Schedule C. We're always probably going to use the cash method, which is the easiest method. And through here, you talk about how much money you make, which Plexus will send you a 1099 if you make over $600. And even if you don't make over $600, you are still required to file a Schedule C with your money because you are required to claim all of the money you make. Okay. We talk about some of our expenses. Advertising and marketing. We can pay for all of our nifty shirts as long as they say, ask me about Plexus. If they just have Plexus swag, we cannot write that off. Okay? People have actually gotten audited for that kind of stuff because they bought a bunch of swag and they paid and they wrote it all off, and yeah, you can't write it off unless it's directly marketing for you. So if it's directly going to be marketing for you, like ask me about Plexus, it has your website on it because you have customized swag done, something like that, those you can write off, those purchases. Mileage expenses. Mileage is the fun one. So everybody thinks that we've got to have that horrible mileage log that you write down. My odometer start reading was 1,100 miles. When I got there, it was 102 miles, whatever. Starting and end of mileage. You don't have to have a mileage log like that. What you can do is set up in your calendar and say, have your address, and at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, and I would recommend it not waiting until the end of the year to do it, but then at the end of the quarter, take your calendar and go to MapQuest and map it out to wherever your appointments were at, or wherever you had your sip and see at, wherever your post office is at, because you know you go to the post office X time a week. And I would just jot that down in your calendar, post office run. That way, you know how many miles you ran. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have a separate vehicle that runs just Plexus. If you do, that's easy enough because you just run first your odometer reading at the beginning of the year, your odometer reading at the end of the year, 100% business use. That's going to be the easiest way. There's some apps like Mile IQ that you can get for it, that you can go start and stop, or you can just track it in your calendar. Any of those ways are fine for IRS audits to track your mileage. Standard mileage is easiest to do. I think it's 45 cents a mile, or maybe I think it went down to 42 cents a mile because gas dropped. So I think it went down to 42 cents a mile for 2016. So you just take that and you multiply it out times the amount of mileage that you used for the year, and you'll put that in for your car and truck expenses because that covers all of your car and truck expenses. It's not a portion of this and a portion of that and a portion of this. It's just standard mileage. Going down. Legal and professional services. If you hire a CPA, you can write it off specifically for your business. If you hire them, just do your business logs. Office expenses are going to be notebooks, those kinds of things. Nobody should be writing off a ton of office expenses. I've had a lot of questions about home office expenses. Home office expenses can be written off, but there's a lot of very specific rulings that you have to have in order to qualify home office so that you write it off. So, and it doesn't make a lot of difference in taxes in general. I've had businesses before where I wrote off I've done it both ways. I've written off home offices for some people, and it's changed their tax bracket by like $2. $2 in taxes is not enough to waste the whole other form and the time to fill it out. The qualifications for home offices, you can only use that office for that thing. It has to be a dedicated room, closed off from the rest of the house. Therefore, you get to write off everything in that room, the square footage, so you get a percentage of the rent, percentage of the utilities, percentage of the phone bill, those kinds of things for your home office. A lot of times it's just not worth it. So I would not recommend it unless you have an outrageous home office, and if you do, please let me know, because that would be awesome. Phones, you can write off your phone, your cell phone, for the amount of time that you use it. So unless you have a separate business line specifically dedicated to Plexus stuff, that's all you use it for. Then you can write off your whole thing. If you're on a family plan, make sure that you look at what your phone part is and then multiply that by the percentage. Personally, I use my phone about 50% of the time for Plexus, so it's about how much I'm going to write off as my 50% of my bill. So you just take your amount of your bill, multiply it by the amount of time that you think you use it. A good estimate is probably good. If you brought in $200 and you're writing off a $2,000 phone bill for the entire year, it's not really going to add up. So just make sure it's somewhat proportional to what you look like you're making. Travels, meals, and entertainments, along with deductible meals and entertainment. 50% of your meals while traveling and entertaining are deductible. For travel, you can take per diem instead, or you can keep your receipts. Honestly, I would take per diem. It's easier, unless you want to get like a neat scanner and scan all your receipts in. Gifts. Gifts are a big thing, because we give out gifts to our Plexus people all the time, all of our downlines, and we offer those. Gifts are limited to $25 a person per year is what you can write off. Let me say that one more time slower. It's $25 per year per person is all you can write off. Not saying don't give gifts bigger than that. I'm saying all you can write off is $25 per year per person. Okay. Let's see. What else did I want to go over? That's about it, unless I have any questions. And I didn't see any questions earlier. Taxes are fairly straightforward and simple with our business because we don't have an inventory. Inventory gets kind of more complicated because then you have to take a beginning inventory and an ending inventory for marketing, because we don't actually sell a lot of our own inventory. Most of ours is samples and those kinds of things, so you don't have to keep I have this much on hand that's worth this amount of money. Anybody have any questions? Any clarifications on anything?
Yeah, Tonya, what's your feelings about incorporation? What I've heard so far from Jules and what it seems like people at corporate have been telling them is that you should be doing that by the time you turn Emerald.
I would agree. And a lot of the reasons is because you're making so much money at that point that incorporating at that point and either going as an LLC or going as an S Corp is going to depend on your own personal situations and what you're trying to do, either with your business along with what you're doing outside of your business. So it's all a personal way, whichever one you want to do, and whichever way would be best for you. That's going to depend on that. But yes, by the time people are looking into Ruby, I would probably start looking into moving over to an LLC or an S Corp at that point.
Okay. Because
it just takes a little bit of time to get that kind of money, to get the paperwork going and those kinds of things, because it does take a little bit of time to get those together. And if you're moving at a fairly rapid rate, I would probably start looking into those when you hit Ruby or Senior Ruby before you go into Emerald.
Okay. Knowing how quickly I do things, I probably should start looking into it now.
Everybody knows their own speed, so.
Yeah, mine is turtle. I mean, I do everything really super fast. I think I just have too many things to do, and so nothing gets done at a quick rate. But I'll take it. I'll take the problems. Emerald any day now, and all the problems that come with it. I'll take that on.
Hey everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
My apologies for the coughing. I didn't realize I wasn't on mute earlier. I was sick over the weekend. I apologize for the coughing. Tonya, excellent job. Great job on everything. Did I miss a part about, do you suggest everybody has an EIN number?
That was the very first thing I led off with. I don't think that you were on yet.
Okay, I missed it. I was going to ask you what you thought about that. So we should have an EIN number.
Oh, yes. Everybody should have an EIN number. And if you don't have one, get one tomorrow.
Okay.
That's interesting to hear that. That's really, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. We can do that directly on the IRS site, right?
Yes, you go directly onto the IRS site. And for those that missed it, I will repeat it again because I firmly believe that each one of us needs to have an EIN number. And an EIN number is your business Social Security number. So what it does is it takes your personal Social Security number out of everybody's hands.
Yes.
The way that it is set up, virtually everyone at corporate has your Social Security number right now. Not that I don't love Plexus, but I don't trust anybody.
Right.
And when I mean everybody at corporate has access to your Social Security number, I don't know how many people work there, but virtually anybody can get there. And if they get hacked for any reason, then that person has your Social Security number as well.
Right.
Right.
So once we have the EIN number, then we need to let Plexus know as well to remove our Social Security number.
Correct. And my understanding is that there is a simple form that, and they're supposed to make it super easy for us. But my understanding from a Jewel that was there at my boot camp was that Plexus has a simple form that just changes it.
Right.
Oh,
okay. And is next week? Sorry, Bob.
No, go ahead.
Is next week still okay for you to go over what you learned at the boot camp?
Of course.
Okay, great.
Yay! 2 weeks in a row. Awesome.
And I think we lack 2 chapters yet in leadership training, and I would like to wrap those up fairly soon. But I'm wondering, in April, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but feel free to say no. April attended the Get Motivated event, Les Brown event yesterday. And I would love, April, if you don't mind sharing with the group, not right now, but maybe after Tonya in 2 weeks, if you wouldn't mind sharing maybe 20, 30 minutes of the things that you learned from Get Motivated.
Yes, I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm working on getting everything processed. There's a lot of information.
I'm sure. Thanks so much for going, and thanks for compiling all that information for us.
Yeah, I posted one thing on my team page today. I kind of want to rework it and make sure it is appealing to the eyes before I start posting it on everybody else's team page.
Right. Well, don't spin your wheels too much. I mean, I know you've got more important things to do too, so but I do appreciate you doing that for the team. Thank you very much, and thank you, Tonya, for leading this tonight. And hello,
no,
KK.
not a problem.
And hello, Sabrina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Are we missing anybody?
Do what?
I think that's
okay. I just want to make sure I said hi to everybody tonight.
Oh,
Very
KK's
good.
on.
Yeah, I said hi, KK.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. Yeah.
Hey.
I didn't know you made it on. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tonya, I want to reiterate that was really a fantastic job. It really was. I'm glad I recorded it. In fact, I need to run inside and go ahead and turn that off now. I guess if we're done talking about that. And everybody, you are welcome to replicate this and disseminate it to your teams if you're watching now after the fact. And I'll have it on YouTube here probably later tonight or tomorrow.
And please disregard the coughing. I'm so sorry. I know